Hey guys, Lazerbolt here, and welcome to another episode. So Kerbal Space Program 2 is finally out in early access on Steam. I'm pretty excited about that. I've been playing the original one ever since it came out in early access back in like 2011. It's been a long time that game came out. Anyway, the new one's finally available. You can play it. It's in early access, so I'm expecting that it's going to have a few bugs. It's missing a whole bunch of content that actually makes it worth getting the game. But it's early. It's in the early stages of early access. They have a lot of optimization to do on it and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to jumping in and checking it out. Let's go ahead and build something and see what we can do.
First thing I notice is we have a single player option, which is cool because that indicates in the future we're going to have a multiplayer option. So first thing I want to do is check out the graphics settings here. Let's see what we got. The recommended specs for Kerbal Space Program 2 are rather high. The recommended graphics card is an RTX 3080. That is a beast. If they expect most people to have one of those, I think they'll be disappointed. But let's see here. By default, it has all my graphics settings at high. The system I'm using is a 6-core, 12-thread running at 4.2 gigahertz. I have 32 gigs of RAM and an RTX 3060 Ti. It's a nice system, but it's not quite a 3080. How about we bump this up from 1080p and put it on, let's see, 1440? Let's see if we still got some good frames going on. Alright, Kerbal Space Center is looking pretty nice nowadays. Nice revamp of it all. What do you say we go to the assembly building and make a rocket? Well, for our first rocket, let's just make something that can go up into orbit and then come back down safely. Okay, let's start with the trusty Mark 1 Explorer pod here. We can send one lucky Kerbal up to space. We'll give her a little heat shielding here to protect her on re-entry, although I'm not even sure those effects are in place in the game yet. It might not be necessary, but let's slap a little one on here. You know what, now that I'm getting into this, I'm thinking let's make this a little more complicated mission. Let's give him a payload to deliver when he's out in orbit, like a satellite or something here. So we'll grab one of these fairings, and yeah, we'll start building a little satellite. How about a ComSat or something? Yeah, let's make it out of one of these Stay Putniks, the good old-fashioned satellite type thing going on here. A couple antennas and maybe a battery and some solar cells, and this thing's ready to go. So the new system for building fairings around your cargo is pretty interesting. I like that. It works good. You got these little sliders you can push and pull and make whatever shape you want, and then when you're ready to add a new bend or change the shape of it, you hit the plus sign. And you go from there, and then when your cargo is fully encapsulated, you're done. Alright, let's finish this two-stager by adding all the couplings and fuel tanks and engines and batteries and lights. And let's not forget to make sure everything is staged correctly. And after a bunch of fiddling around and a couple redesigns, here's the finished product, ready to go. And here we are at the launch pad where I experienced my first bug. It's kind of a camera glitch here. You notice the camera is pointing at a weird angle, and no matter what I do, I can't get the traditional, like, looking straight on camera type thing. But I figured out quickly if you just revert back to the launch, it will reload and everything's fine. But this happened every single time I launched. Alright, let's light this candle and see what she's got. Wow, I just love that big old plume coming out. Beautiful. Well, it's not a very complicated rocket we got going on here, but the frames are really holding up good. It's nice and smooth. Everything looks really good. Oh, look at that nice view of the Kerbal Space Center. See, we even have some kind of a dock area over here. You can build ships and stuff. A double runway, super handy, especially for multiplayer. Some kind of helipads or something, or maybe just place to park airplanes, who knows. And lots of launch pads. Very cool. Alright, let's go. So once we get past the real thickest part of the atmosphere here, we'll start our gravity turn. Real careful like. This rocket seems to want to tip. Try to push the nose over and hit that perfect 45 degrees. Alright, it is time to throttle down and see if those Separatrons are worth the money we paid for them. Let's go. These are fun. Okay, first stage separation success. We're gonna raise our apogee here to about 100 kilometers or so, and that should make a great altitude for our satellite. And looky there, another little glitch. Every once in a while when it tags an object on the screen and then the object goes away, the tag is still there. But I figured out if you hop to the map and back, it goes away. Ta-da! Just like that. The new user interface has some cool new additions, like down here in the bottom you can see it displays your apogee and perigee and your time to them. Very handy having it right there. Also this little option wheel they got for you right here. This is probably my favorite new addition to the game. I love this. With a click of a button you can point your ship prograde, retrograde, up or down compared to a gravity well. That'll be super handy when you're landing on a planetary surface. So we're approaching our apogee here. It's about time to get ready to perform our circularization burn. And here we go. Just trying to raise my perigee here up to hopefully till it's equal to the apogee. We'll see. I already can tell that we're going to be a little bit of an eccentric orbit here. It won't be very circular. But it doesn't matter as long as we're in a stable orbit, that'll be just fine. We just want to make sure that we save a little bit of fuel for the end when we're done deploying the satellite, and we can use that little bit of fuel to get us out of orbit. And there you go, just like that, we are in a fully stable orbit, a little bit eccentric, but not too bad. Now it's time to get ready to deploy this satellite. First thing we want to do is eject this fairing. And here's where I ran into another little glitch. Nothing game breaking or nothing like that. Actually kind of funny, but check out what happens to this fairing. Yep, it does that every time. Kind of funny. It makes me wonder what would happen to a ship if it was in the way of that. It might be kind of fun to test that. Alright, let's extend the antennas and the solar panels on our satellite here and get ready to launch it. Looking good. First we'll give it a little spin. Okay, Kerbal has its first communication satellite. Sweet. Alright, let's prepare to deorbit and head back to the planet's surface by pointing retrograde and getting ready to use the last of our fuel. Hey, as long as we're still in orbit, why don't we let little Bob Kerman here stretch his legs? Let's go for an EVA. Oh no! Okay. I'm not even sure what all these things are, but we definitely destroyed our ship. Well, buddy, that's not good. I guess the planet has 2 satellites now. Well, hopefully I've got a quick save sometime that's not too far back, and we can avoid this disaster. Let's reload something. Well, luckily I saved it right before I deployed those fairings, so we can go back to that, and we'll be right back on track in no time. That's still funny. Alright, satellite deployed, we're back on track. Let's get poor little Bob Kerman back on the ground here before we kill him again. We got the ship pointing retrograde here, and let's hit the brakes and get us out of orbit. You look on the map, we're actually coming back upon Kerbal Space Center. If we're real lucky, we can kind of judge this and maybe come down somewhere close. It'd be great. Time to ditch the rest of my fuel and the engine and all that kind of stuff and get ready to free fall back to Kerbal. Hopefully those parachutes work fine. We'll find out. And looky here, we are indeed going to come down pretty close to the Space Center. Awesome. Maybe if I deploy my chute way up here, it'll help us slow down, but no, there's not enough atmosphere. Well, hopefully once we get down where there is enough atmosphere, okay, there they go. All right, they're not fully deployed yet, but hopefully they're slowing us down. We're going to overshoot by a little bit, but not by a whole lot.
You know, sometimes I amaze even myself.
That doesn't sound too hard.
All right, we're just a little offshore. They could actually come get us with a rowboat if they wanted to. And there's the parachutes, very nice. I see the parachutes are clipping through each other. That's probably something they're going to fix sometime. And we are down. Mission success. How about that? A lot of fun.
So there you go. The game is clearly in early access stages right now. There's a few bugs that they need to work out. Nothing too game breaking like that, at least from what I played. I didn't do anything too fancy, but it played pretty well. They have a lot of content that they need to update. That's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that to start trickling in. And they're going to optimize it, I'm sure, to make the graphics sparkle a little bit more and make it work on everybody's systems nice and smoothly. But I'm pretty impressed already, and there's not much there. I can't wait for the future to see what this game holds for it. But anyway, I really enjoyed myself today, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.